So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our special video of Q&A, which I asked you guys on my YouTube post that if there's something special you want me to talk about. Okay, so I picked two questions, and those particular questions, the first one was from Felicity K. I was always curious on this. Can you see from a birth chart if a person has a good heart? If a person's good person or someone with a bad character? Thank you for your knowledge. Okay, so this is not a very static answer, and this cannot be something I cannot avoid being contradictory. But there is no contradiction, though. That's the thing. So let me tell you, how do you know if somebody will have a good heart or not? Well, first, let's go back in understanding certain horoscopes. Well, there's horoscopes of people that we have heard about, or not just heard about, just people in general. Okay, especially in the Hindu culture, you would have had people who were robbers and thieves became saints and gurus. People who were completely stupid, did idiotic things, became poets like Kalidas. So there is this empirical implications on how people change. So if you meet an XYZ individual at a certain point in their life, they could have a really dark heart, really black heart. They're there to do nothing but to cheat you and nothing but to get whatever you have for themselves. And they kind of become, in a way, a bit narcissistic and sociopath about your feelings. They don't, because they may not have any. You meet that same person 15 years later down the line who robbed you. But unusually, you met them as you walked into some monastery, and they were in the orange robe, shaved head. And you were like, I kind of recognize this person. So what are we talking about here? Whether the heart is good or heart is bad of a person, meaning their intention, that's what you're trying to say, is their intention. This all comes down to the time period a person is running through, known as dashas. That's why Vedic astrology is so magnificent. It can pinpoint things as to why you were this way now and what you are going to be 15, 20 years from now. If you take my example, between the ages of 5 and 15, 16, maybe even 17, I would say, I was a complete rascal. I created all kinds of trouble. Had no interest in studies. Okay. Like in India, you call somebody like a lafange baj. I was a lafange baj. Going from one town to the other with a group of kids and just doing nothing, just being a menace. Imagine you came across to me at that particular time to gain some wisdom in life. First of all, hopefully you wouldn't get wisdom from someone like me at that particular point in my life. But if you did, you could have been guided in the most nonsensical, stupid direction in life. So imagine me as that robber, as that bad person with a black heart. Here you are now watching me when I'm in my 40s. And here I have completely different intentions in life, completely different aims in life, goals in life, maturity in life. So in one way, this is the most important thing, that if a person is going through a period where they are going to create havoc in their own life and other people's lives, yes, they're going to have that black heart. If a person's going through a beautiful period, a beautiful dasha, okay, they're going to do the pure things. They're going to do the sattvic things. So that's one thing. That's one way. That's actually should be the most important way of looking at it. Now, overall in the chart, fifth house becomes very important. Fifth house is known as Purva Punya Bhava. The deeds of your past life and how they're shaping you in this life. The deeds of your past life and how are they shaping you in this life? That's the fifth house. And that shows the intelligence of an individual. That actually shows the character of an individual. And the way to quickly assess this, when you see benefic planets in the fifth house, then you know this person has incurred good merits in their past life where they're going to be doing some sattvic things. Perhaps doing some rajasic things. Rajasic meaning building things, creating things. Sattvic meaning you're simply going towards the divine and the God. That's one way you assess a person's character. Number two, even if you have malefic planets within the fifth house, see how they are in the fifth house. Are they exalted in the fifth house? Are they in their own sign in the fifth house? Are they aspecting their own fifth house and protecting that house? Is there an exchange happening between the fifth and some lord? Whether it's fifth and seventh lord, fifth and ninth lord, fifth and 11th lord, which is known as Parivartan Yoga. If that is occurring, then definitely you also see that they have achieved good merits in their life to gain success in the later half of life. So malefics in the fifth, the way I've shown how they impact, they will show that early in life a person will definitely struggle due to their own misdeeds. But later in life they do well because again there is that fine-tuning understanding of that malefic planet. That hey, it is the Lord of the ninth. Oh, it is the 11th Lord. Or they're looking at their own house. They're protecting it. So this person's not, they're going to use their intelligence in a more sattvic way. Which kind of even brings me, to the second question. But also, like if you see benefic planets, fifth Lord in the 12th, fifth Lord in the 9th. Okay. You see that this person has strong spiritual merits in life. If, let's say, fifth Lord is in the 12th house and it's moon, and it's being aspected by Mars, that's a spiritual combination. And one of the other spiritual combinations, spiritual meaning the good heart. That's what you're wanting to know. They don't have to be spiritual. For example, you have 4 or more planets conjunct together, and 10th Lord is with those particular conjunction, and Jupiter is not combust in that particular conjunction. That person is gonna lead a very great life. Meaning life of merit, life of morals, life of truth. So this is how you can simply understand that. And then you look at the 9th house. Well, we looked at Purva Punya Bhava, the past deeds of a person. The current deeds that are going to be performed is going to be the 9th house. 9th house is the current deeds. So look at the 9th house and its lord and how it's placed. Is it placed in a good position? Is it creating some positive yoga? Whether it's Gaj Kesri Yoga, Mahapurusha Yoga, Raja Yoga. What is it doing? What is it creating? And is the 9th Lord a benefic or a malefic? And then you use the same concept that I said about the malefic and the 5th to see, okay, in this life, what they're going to perform early on is going to be certain stupid, negative, bad things. And then later on, because of that benefic influence, they are going to rise to the higher place where they're going to perform more good deeds. They're going to have a good heart. And then this brings me, like I was telling you, to that second question, kind of like a segue, that, and this is from Sadaf Firadi. She asks, when Ketu conjuncts malefics such as Sun or Saturn, will it lessen their energy or intensify their energy? B, in what situation Ketu gets so malefic, in what situation, and it's not that bad? Wait, I didn't kind of comprehend that particular sentence, but I think I see what you're trying to say. So, first of all, what is the significance of Ketu? That's what you have to understand. Ketu is a moksha karka, moksha planet. Its job is not caring for this world, not caring for these five senses. Ketu's job is always to get you away from these five senses. It's always going to be that. Even if it's in a malefic way. Right? Even if it's a malefic way and Ketu makes you perform some crime, you go to jail for life and you're now in a confined space. You no longer have the luxury of, internet and vehicles and traveling where you want to, meeting someone who you want to, just opening the door and leaving. You can't do that. And look, I'm talking about Ketu. I have my Ketu here, Brad. That means what I'm saying is very important. Isn't that funny? Every time I talk about Ketu, definitely a dog comes in, or if I'm doing a reading and let's say Ketu's in the ascendant, I'm start talking about Ketu, my dog will walk in slowly into the room. Then the second dog will walk into the room. So what I'm saying is this, that Ketu says, let go of these things. And I'm going to teach you to let go of these things since you didn't want to. Since you rejected the good way of understanding me, I'm going to show you through bad way to understand me. And this is why you see when people go into prison for a long time, suddenly they become devout Christians. They become priests within the order of the prison. They become teachers. They become those wise OGs, as they call them. That, hey, don't be so stupid. They'll tell the young criminal who came in for 1 or 2 years to serve a sentence, don't screw up your life. Now, on the other hand, when Ketu's conjunct, let's say Sun and Saturn, first of all, when Ketu conjunct Saturn, it creates something known as Brahmacharya Yoga. And of course, there's other placement you have to see. Brahmacharya meaning the person who becomes either a celibate, somebody who becomes like a monkish individual. And you don't have to become a monk with this conjunction. What it simply shows, one just rejects the unionship within life and they just want to be free. Now, condition on the Venus will really show if this person will take a spiritual life or not. Because why? So look at this. Saturn is the 10th and 11th Lord originally. Career desires. Ketu is there with Saturn. So here Saturn will work without desire, without aim, and without goals. They'll just work. They become very dedicated to their work. Saturn finds its exaltation in the 7th house and its full directional strength in the 7th house of what? Unionship, marriage, partnership, whether business partnership or romantic partnership. Here, Ketu gives that moksha from those things, meaning one is not interested in those things. Saturn Ketu people, I've done so many readings of Saturn Ketu people married, living life, but yeah, internally they're not interested in those things. They want to go towards a higher plane. They want to do selfless work. That's what happens with Saturn Ketu. They start to find higher goals than just the material goals of this life. Whether it's money, fame, family, anything, which is just kind of like the pretty much the orthodox regulations of this society. They just want to break those things. They want to break those things. And usually with Ketu conjunct Saturn, even Sun, one will break the chains, as they call it, will break the chains and shackles of the significance of that planet and do something completely different. So Saturn and Ketu can give a completely unusual career. Sun and Ketu, Sun is naturally the Atma Karka. Okay. Sun finds its directional strength in the 10th house of your status, of your career. Okay. And it's the significator of the first house. When it's with Ketu, a person will be extremely humble. The problem is if a malefic looks at Sun and Ketu, a person becomes arrogant, falls because of the fact they didn't realize they had to be humble. Then they become humble. Then they start rising in life. And of course, Sun Ketu conjunction, this person could be a billionaire. They will still wear clothes that are like bought from Walmart or something. They'll drive like a no name brand, car. They don't need to have a luxury Rolls Royce and jets and all that. They'll live a simple life. If this person walked on the street, you wouldn't know if this person's a multimillionaire or billionaire. If you had Sun Rahu, yes, they will be coming into the Rolls Royce. They would want a red carpet in front of their car. So Ketu doesn't make things malefic. It makes those planets understand their higher ground. And in a way, Sun, Saturn are very similar. Saturn is the son of Sun. In a way, Saturn's supposed to be taking the throne of Sun. So in a way, one represents your exterior Atma, which is the Sun. Saturn represents your interior Atma, the one that is inside. So even though they're polar opposite in their viewpoints in their life, they're pretty much part of the same essence. But malefic, Ketu giving malefic results depends upon the house placement, depends upon other conjunctions of Ketu and certain nakshatras that Ketu is placed in, which I don't want to discuss here, because then you give unnecessary fear into people's heart. Okay, so hopefully I have answered these great questions, amazing questions, and hopefully I'll put another post and maybe I'll take some questions from there. Till then, if you haven't gone to my website, to my Academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy under course section, do so, because I uploaded my latest video on horoscope matching part 3 with different ascendants. Taurus ascendant, next one I'm going to take Gemini ascendant, then Cancer, go all the way through all the 12 ascendant, then we'll get into other levels of horoscope matching. All right, so see you there. Bye-bye.